Hey all, Paul Morey here with the October 2023 Maintenance Construction Transportation Unit Presence Report. I'd like to start off with some announcements. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Local 600 was asking if any of our members or family members had experiences or stories they'd like to tell with regard to battling breast cancer or success stories. Please contact Local 600. Sarah Gonzalez. They're putting together a video, and if you'd like to be a part of that, more information can be had in the committee room or calling Local 600. The annual UAW Local 600 sock drive began October 1st, and it's going to run through December 31st. So if anyone would be willing to get together a donation of socks, they're asking for children's socks, women's, men's, all sizes. They're going to be donated to the NOAA Foundation, which takes care of the homeless in Detroit. And as it turns out, socks are one of the most needed items for homeless people. And you can bring the donations directly to Local 600. There's a drop box, or you can bring them into the committee room, and we'll be collecting them and we'll get them over to 600. That's the annual sock drive. And 600 is also having a red shirt sale. So this began October 13th. $10 each. They're the shirts that they had at the Labor Day parade. They're the red for a Union Strong. They are available at Local 600, and we have flyer in the committee room on that as well. Also, there are two events coming up. First of all, at Region 1A on October 26th, they're going to do their annual trunk or treat in the parking lot of Region 1A, and there's also going to be a trunk or treat at the Mark Twain School in Detroit, which Local 600 sponsors annually, and that's going to be Tuesday, October 31st. And we are going to be supporting both those initiatives. It's usually a fun time for the kids, and we appreciate the support. If anyone's interested, there's flyers with information in the committee room. October is also Global Diversity Awareness Month, and we provided flyers and information that went out via email, and there's also flyers in the committee room to you can read up and see how we're celebrating diversity at the UAW Ford Initiative. UAW Local 174 is asking for donations for the strikers. That's through Region 1A, and there's also a list of products and goods that could be delivered out there. That's starting Monday, September 25th, and it's rolling through until the strike is over and we ratify a new contract. Region 1A is also sponsoring a organizing council meeting, and that'll be Tuesday, October 24th, from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., and that's at Region 1A. That concludes the announcements. All that information is available in the committee room or through your committee people as well. I'm going to get into the President's report now. I just want to say that we're continuing on with our local negotiations. We've got significant process. There's still a few items to solve that we're working through, and our hope is that we have a tentative agreement soon. Within the next, hopefully the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to button up a tentative agreement for our local. And that brings me to the national contract negotiations. My understanding is that they're very close on a lot of items. I know people have been following the gyrations of the whole process through the media, social media, and whatnot. But I can say that we're still continuing to do the targeted strikes. And with that, I just want to relay a couple things directly related to that. On September 29th, we received a letter that discussed the second strike action notice, and that had to do with Chicago Assembly. I know since that time there's been some more things happening. You're all mostly aware of how this is going. But at that time, the letter that was sent to us from the International was that anyone who's not called to strike will continue under their expired agreement, will continue working. And with that, there was a letter that some of these targeted strikes are starting to affect the plants that are working. So I just want to share with you a letter that Chuck Browning, the Vice President Ford Department, sent to Kevin Legal of the Ford Motor Company with regard to laying off people that would be not technically on strike, but they're being affected by the strikes at other locations. It has come to my attention that several affected facilities have been laying off, or will soon be laying off, employees outside of their seniority. Livonia Transmission, Michigan Assembly Plant, Cleveland Engine, and Lima Engine. I understand that the company's position is it can do this because of the temporary layoff in the language. Volume 1, Article 8, Section 21 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement, because the layoffs are temporary. However, as you know, it is consistent with the contract and the established practice that the temporary layoff language is to be used only for short-term and defined layoffs. You and I agree that we want these layoffs to be short-term, but they are not defined. Therefore, the company should be laying off these employees by seniority according to the reduction in force language in Volume 1, Article 8, Section 16. To do otherwise would be to unilaterally change the terms and the conditions of the employment as established by the expired collective bargaining agreement. This, of course, is an unfair labor practice which violates the National Labor Relations Act. Therefore, we demand the company adhere to the status quo, place all employees in their rightful position, and make affected employees whole. And with that, I will say there are grievances that are being filed and complaints to the National Labor Relations Board. So we're going to continue to follow that process. We haven't directly been affected yet in the maintenance construction unit, but I know some of the production people have been. So we're going to work hand in hand with the international to make sure that we follow the process as closely to the contract as we're allowed to. So if that affects any of our membership, obviously we will contact and communicate that with everyone. I did want to say also that the lateral sign-up period is currently open, and you have until October 27th at 6 p.m. in the committee room to fill out a form that's for lateral, site-wide lateral preferences. Rev C is still a problem. We've been having a problem with outside contractors still on site. They have not released all of the AGVs to the company. They're having issues with the programming and the whole process. So I just want people to know that we have been filing grievances and we will continue. We can't make them hire people. We went to them several months ago and tried to inform them that they weren't going to have the sufficient skilled trades. And I just want to thank all the tradespeople that are at Rev C right now. I know it's been a hot mess over there, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that we rectify that situation sooner rather than later. But we are on that. We'll give that our full attention moving forward. Hydrogen fuel cell training for the Dearborn Truck Plant industrial truck repair is being scheduled. It has been funded and agreed to. And it looks like we have a tentative December date to get the high industrial truck mechanics versed and trained on the hydrogen fuel cell equipment. And the classes, it looks like most likely are going to be at the TTC, the training center in Lincoln Park. We also have made an initiative recently to create a Maximo system for PMs at Lincoln Park Training Center. When they did the renovation several years ago, there were some lapses in how they set up their PMs. It's affected our unit, particularly our power utility group. So I just want you to know we have someone out there working through a Maximo system, and hopefully we're going to retain all that work out there at TTC. That was important for us. I do want to say that the COVID protocol, we got some questions on this recently. The COVID protocol is now, the company has stated that the emergency, the pandemic is over per the U.S. government, and they're asking us to treat COVID as any other flu or virus. So I guess the bottom line of that is there's no longer any situations where you'll be asked to stay out of work or that you will be paid for any time off due to COVID. So again, it's being treated as any other flu, cold, or virus, and we ask you to take the appropriate precautions, especially if coming into work. With that, Local 600, Maintenance Construction and the Tool and Die Unit will be feeding the homeless on November 22nd, 2023. We're going to do that down at the Christ Church of Detroit over by Comerica Park. That's a yearly event. We're going to do the one right before Thanksgiving, and that's a great event. We want to thank Local 600 for sponsoring that. And then lastly here, I want to say our annual M&C unit Christmas lunch is tentatively scheduled for 12/21/23. So we're going to get details out. We'll put some flyers out. You'll find out when we nail that down. But it looks like it's going to be December 21st for our luncheon in the room. And I did want to say we're probably going to put together another raffle to fund that. Other than that, that concludes my President's Report for October. I want to thank you for what you do. We appreciate all your efforts, and I know we're in a tenuous time with the contract negotiations lingering on. I'd like everybody to know that we need to stay together and stand strong. We're going to stand up for what's right for us, and I have every confidence that the national negotiating team is going to bring home a world-class contract for us that we'll all be proud of. So God bless you, God bless your families, and stay safe. Thank you.